So let's kind of talk about how you would have booked your NXT run otherwise. Now,
Mhm.
it wasn't as NXT was nowhere near as popular in its own brand like it is now.
Yeah.
But it still had, it still had some notable people, Pac or Neville was there,
Yeah.
Bo Dallas was real big at that time. Big E was real big at that time, as far as names concerned, Seth Rollins. So there was still had that star power. Jinder Mahal was there for a while. So it still had that star power that still, could have still kind of paved the way, really did pave the way to what we see now. How
Mhm.
would you have booked the last year of your run differently?
I'm really satisfied with my character and look now.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish if I could go back in time. I think during my NXT, when I was on NXT, I should have started growing the beard out. I should have cut the braids because it was still attached to
Yep.
to JTG Crime Time. The
Mm-hmm.
braids and the yo-yo shades and the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, it took a traumatic event for me to
Yeah.
to really switch it up and look in the mirror and be like, all right, there's no more Crime Time. It's like, what is JTG has to move on. He still has to represent Crime Time, but I don't, but to an extent, I have to be an individual, but still rep my partner
Mm-hmm.
when I go out there. So I'm wrestling for two when I
Yes.
go out there. So
Yeah.
I got to make sure I put my best foot forward.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so now you're the Renaissance. That means rebirth. So
Yeah.
that's now you're a Renaissance JTG. That's pretty dope. So yeah, it's NXT. It's one of those things that like I said, the last year you for some reason they just didn't see as much as opportunity you had. They just didn't see just the gem in you. And I think you make a good point. I think you were they kind of wanted to do something with you, but
Mhm.
at the same time there was still some shades of JTG Crime Time there, and they really didn't see the ability in you. Now, during your time as a heel JTG, did you pitch any ideas to the higher ups that fell on deaf ears? Deaf
Oh man,
ears?
I have pitched a bunch of ideas. I had pitched to work a tag team with uh Fred what's his Darren
Dosser,
Young.
Darren Young, yeah.
Yeah, we bought jackets and everything. We were gonna do like like I said before, the Devos gimmick. Like we're pretty much like male GQ models, like very like
Yeah.
pedicures and manicures and eyebrows. It was so far from Crime Time. I was like, I need to get away from Crime Time.
Yeah.
So I think a gimmick like that with
Like a black Adrian Street type of deal, huh?
well, not that far left, but
Not
yeah,
that risque, but
like prima donnas and very metrosexual.
okay,
And
gotcha.
yeah, then that we kept pitching that, and they wasn't going for that. Like I told you before, I pitched the Muppet idea. I
Mhm.
pitched the Rocky Five idea. Was it Rocky Five? Uh, with um with Booker T, where he takes me under his wing because we had the same similar roots. They were in a tag
Yeah.
team, not a single, and then he takes me under his wing, and then he gets me to a certain caliber, and then
Yeah.
I want to do it on my own. Then he's like, you got to listen to me, it ain't, and I turn on him. I pitched that
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, that would have been perfect,
It'd have been
man.
amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that idea. That was
Wow.
the favorite one. I would
That
have
really
came
would have
out.
been a coming out party, kind of really been a really good evolution out of JTG because you
Yeah.
still had a little bit of JTG in you. And
Mm-hmm.
as you had that coaching from Booker T, you're coming out of the JTG character,
And
still
he's leading
getting
the way.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been perfect, man. So you got all these creative ideas, man.
Uh-huh.
You ever thought about working creative somewhere?
You know, you're not the first person to ask me that. I did it. I got interviewed by Jim Ross, and he said the same thing. You ever thought about working creative? You know, because he read the book and he's like, you have a very you tell great stories. You have very and you deliver it in a very funny, like you weren't you. It wasn't that you was coming across bitter. He didn't get that from my book. He got that. You know, it was experience, and I was just telling him my point of view, and it came across funny. You know,
Yeah.
I took a funny approach to the stories and a comedic approach, and I didn't want to come across bitter at all because you know it was an amazing experience, and I don't have any regrets besides not growing this badass beard and putting on some muscle.
Yeah,
Cutting those
yeah,
braids. It took a while for me to cut them braids.
yeah,
It started for me. It started for me when I started looking in the mirror and I started seeing gray hairs, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to.
yeah,
You shouldn't have grays in your braids.
yeah, yeah. That's really interesting, man. I think you know, with your age and you still got a lot in the tank, man. But I think just maybe that would be a nice kind of consolation prize to kind of prepare yourself. You know, when you do hang up the boots, man, you've got some years in the creative, you know, field. You know, when it comes to AEW or NXT or something like that. You were NXT pro too, man. And, you know,
Yeah,
I think WWE owes you for booking you that bad year and put you on the creative team to work with Michaels and Tripp, man.
we'll see. I know that there's a hierarchy there, and you gotta start from the bottom. You know, start bringing in coffee for the team, and you know, I don't know if I want to do all that.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah. Well, it's always a pleasure, man. He's JTG. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone, and we just went off the script.